Kia ora, a few showers around this afternoon up across parts of Waikato and up in towards Auckland. But for most of the South Island and for the southern half of the North Island, it stays dry and mostly clear as well. And that's the story as we head through in towards the night time as well. The South Island keeping hold of plenty of dry, clear weather. You can see though there are a few of these showers around that western side of Waikato up in towards Auckland and perhaps into parts of Northland. Monitor those perhaps on the sharper side as we head through the evening. But they'll fade away through the night time, and for most of us it's a dry night. Perhaps a few pockets of fog forming through parts of Wanganui, but most of the time it's dry and clear, especially across the South Island. Up north we start to find more of this northeasterly wind, bringing a little bit more cloud, perhaps a few showers persisting through the night time around the eastern parts of Northland and the Coromandel. Overnight temperatures tonight, well, I think we're still down to around about 17, 18 degrees Celsius through the far northern parts of New Zealand. But down the cooler areas in the far southern areas, not much down, about 10 degrees. But it's worth saying daytime highs through central Otago up to around about 30 degrees Celsius. So 10 degrees Celsius at night will hopefully give a bit of a respite from those warm daytime temperatures. The forecast as we head into Saturday for the South Island is one of dry weather. The high pressure still with us, keeping hold of plenty of clear sky and settled weather. We will find though as we head through the daytime, more cloud creeps in towards the north and will keep hold of these showers as well. By the end of the day we might find an odd shower around parts of Buller. But for most of the South Island it's a dry fine day. Similarly for the majority of the North Island. But there's more cloud from Northland, Auckland, and Coromandel and down towards the eastern coast with a few showers, particularly around those eastern areas. Let's take a closer look at the North Island. And we have got the best of the brightness, I think, for places like Wanganui and Manawatu. There's these northeasterly winds. They will bring a bit more in the way of cloud for those eastern-facing coasts of Northland, Auckland, the Coromandel, and a few showers, particularly for places like Auckland from the afternoon. Most of the time, I think you'll find it stays dry, but then those showers developing later in the day. And around the eastern coast, we'll keep hold of a touch more cloud from Hawke's Bay and Tairāwhiti, and some showers there about mainly the hills of Tairāwhiti. But for the warmer temperatures, I think we'll head down towards this bottom corner of the North Island, where we find daytime highs up to around about 27 degrees Celsius in Palmerston North, perhaps even 28, 29 for Wanganui. But I think we are looking at generally a warm few days coming up. The return of those northeasterlies will mean a fair feed of warm, muggy air over us. Although if you're out in towards those coasts that face the north and the east, places like Tauranga, it may feel a little bit cooler, 23 degrees Celsius compared to the 27s we'll find down in the south and west. Heading through the weekend, we'll keep hold of plenty of dry weather, and it's been a fairly dry season so far, which has had its impact on our fire dangers as well. You can see on our charts here, the blue colours showing areas with a moderate fire risk, but we have got these pockets, particularly in places like Taranaki, a very high or even extreme fire risk. So it's really worth keeping a close eye on these fire conditions as we head through the weekend. When we've got some showers later on, especially around those northeastern areas, it's been pretty dry. And a similar story as we head down towards the South Island, a very colourful patchwork of areas there, with plenty of areas, particularly through central Otago, with that high or even very high fire risk through the weekend. And it's worth keeping that in mind when you're planning your activities. It's going to be a warm couple of days down through central Otago, inland Canterbury, so it's going to be quite dry and sunny. So keep in mind that fire risk before you're planning your barbecues. As we go down towards the South Island, we'll keep hold of plenty of dry weather for the day itself on Saturday, with the high pressure keeping most of the skies pretty dry and clear. We'll find though as we go through the daytime a little bit more cloud from time to time around the southern coast and towards parts of Clutha, perhaps even up as far as Dunedin through the morning. But for most of us it's dry and it's fine, plenty of clear sky through the day. By the end of the afternoon we'll find a little bit more cloud up across those northern areas through Buller, enough to bring an odd shower, but very much the exception, with most of us dry, fine and still pretty warm as well, especially through parts of central Otago with those daytime highs of 27, Christchurch about 24. By Sunday we start to find a bit of a change in our weather, especially across those northern parts of New Zealand. We'll have more of those northeasterlies, more cloud feeding down ahead of this area of low pressure, which brings as well the risk of more showers for Sunday, especially on that line from say Northland down towards Wairarapa on this side of the hills. Places like Taranaki, Wanganui, Manawatu, Kapiti Coast, generally a dry, fine looking day. A bit more high cloud later on, giving a bit of a veiled look to the sky, but I think generally it's a warm one as well. The South Island, well, Sunday looks to be a continuation of that fine weather. Things change though for next week, but I think for Sunday on the South Island, it's the place to be for dry, fine and sunny conditions. The next area of low pressure, this one out over the Tasman Sea, will bring some wetter weather for us on Tuesday, but I think we are going to find, at least for Sunday, many spots stay dry. As we go through the daytime on Sunday, that low pressure will also be bringing northeasterly winds, warm, muggy air, but also helping to drive a fair bit of swell around those northern and eastern facing coasts. You can see that area of darker blue coming in as we head through Sunday and into Monday, particularly for those areas exposed to those north and eastern areas. So parts of that eastern coast of northern, the Coromandel, the Hauraki Gulf, and even out in towards parts of Tairafti. Worth keeping a close eye on the marine conditions for your activities through Sunday, but especially through towards Monday as things become a little bit more unsettled to start next week. That's it from me. Have an excellent weekend.